I'm SammyP. Welcome to episode 4 of my Let's Voice series for Pathfinder Kingmaker. It's a series where I use the excuse of practicing my voice acting to justify playing video games. And if you're enjoying it, please feel free to like, share, and subscribe. It's a great way to help the channel. If you're not, constructive criticism is always welcome. The dislike button is right there. And any tips and advice are also welcome as well. Just no spoilers. Now, we had just seen off an attack of bandits on the trading post. And then we had a weird spectral nymph, or a projection of a nymph, I guess, visit us during the night to give us a bit of a lead when looking for this bandit that we're after. All right, all these abilities. That's all right. But I think we're going to have a chat with Mary, please. Let's have a chat with our companions to see where everyone's at. We're going to talk. And Mary utters a weary sigh. All right. Spill it. I'm listening. We're just talking. You don't like it? And Mary shrugs several times, perhaps flexing her muscles or maybe just filling the silence. Don't know, she admits at last. Depends what we're going to talk about. If it's about monsters or swords or scars, I approve. That's good. And if you're going to ask questions like why and what for and how, screw this. And Mary looks you over slowly, head to toe. Or you got even harder ones. If you want to talk about swords, that's a formidable sword. But it's not just a simple weapon, is it? You bet it's not simple. Check how big it is. She proudly raises the blade, and you notice that even though Amiri is extremely strong, she still has difficulty wielding such a large sword. This sword belonged to a real blasted... Horses, please. A real blasted frost giant. I killed the beast and took this looker for myself. Fits me perfect. My damn trophy. And Miri's eyes flash with menace as if she's challenging some invisible enemy to try and take away her trophy. Tell me about yourself. This question seems to puzzle Miri. She scratches her head and starts counting on her fingers. First, I'm a barbarian. I'm strong. I grew up in the realm of the Mammoth Lords. Left my tribe, the Six Bears. She looks thoughtfully at her 4 bent fingers and shrugs. And I like fights, she concludes, bending her thumb. What is it like to be a barbarian in the Six Bears tribe? Ha! Our people are big and strong. You can cut a monster in half with one swing. You can walk 3 days and nights with no rest. We can eat a whole fried auroch. Where do you find a fryer big enough to fit an auroch? I don't need the answer to that question. I guess you had to do a lot of training to become as strong as you are. Training? No one freaking trained me. The boys of the Six Bears got the training. All I could do was watch. Mary's eyes gleam with anger. And you know what? They were still crap even after all that training because I kicked their butts hard. Animals, bandits, monsters all thought they were stronger than me. Idiots. Mary spits on the ground. So if you start a fight and you think you can win, you think you're stronger than your enemy. And Miri raises her chin proudly. I defeated them all. See all the scars on my face? Yes, you're quite a good fighter. Mary jerks her head up. Quite good, huh? Compared to who? If I was a crappy male, I'd fight better. Is that what you're trying to say? She glares at you, her eyes narrow. Or you say I could be better. Like, go get some training, Amiri, right? I meant exactly what I said. You're quite a good fighter. Don't raise your voice to me ever again. Amiri continues to breathe heavily for several seconds, glaring at you but finally she calms down. I won't, she mutters. Forget it. What does the realm of the Mammoth Lords look like? Huge and freezing, not a place for weaklings. Amiri narrows her eyes as if evaluating your ability to survive her homeland. Tribes hunt Urok's herd to survive. Uroks are fast, so tribes follow herds for so tribes follow herds for days, just to not die of hunger. And if you're weak, you stay behind and die in the snow. Tribe cannot stop. Also, there are giants and mammoths. Sometimes demons come as well. And the mastodons, and the saber-toothed tigers. You would survive, I think. Yeah, for a few days. Yes, well, why did you leave your tribe? And Miri flushes. Because they were assholes, all of them. Men were cowards and scoundrels, and the women were scared like sheep. Miri rolls her bloodshot eyes in fury. Men there think no girl can be a fighter because they are weak, and they're afraid a woman can beat them. And females just nod. Go sew hides, cook meat, watch kids. That's what they always say. But I'm a warrior, damn it! I won't cook hides and watch meat. And Miri is already shouting, her fists clenching tightly. I told them! I went hunting with men, and what did I get? Still the same. You are a woman, you stay home. Even gave me a nickname. Soft Chieftain. Like a warrior woman was a funny joke. Damn, I even went to hunt those shit-faced frost giants, and there... Amiri suddenly stops, breathing heavily, sweat beading on her forehead. After a moment, Amiri waves her hand awkwardly and forces herself to grin. So I left. Cowards, scoundrels, and sissies they were. That's why. Right, well, thanks for telling me. Let's talk about something else. Why not? I just already answered that. Actually, that's all. Thank you for talking with me. Let's speak again later. Talking. When will we do some monster killing instead? I'm gonna talk to this... Jaethel greets you with a nod. Speak. I would like to hear your story. Stories? Jaethel shrugs. Stories are boring. A waste of time. I have killed. I was exiled from Kironin. I died. I was raised by Ogathal's gift. That is my story. Homeland of the Elves. Okay. Urgathoa, also known as the Pallid Princess and Lady Despair. Goddess of physical excess, disease, and the undead. Alright. So who were you before your exile? Oh, that's rather amusing. I belong to a wealthy family. Held high position in the courts of Idara, capital of Kionin. When my little wrongdoings were revealed, the trial was held in the very same court where I tried cases and delivered sentences over several hundred years. An awkward situation, don't you think? Well, who did you kill? And why? Family. 4. Jaethal's voice is calm and ordinary, as if she's speaking of something trivial. But why is a more interesting question. What is it worth of 1,000 years? What is the worth of 1,000 years if you cannot enjoy it for, like, your first 10 dozen springs? What is the worth of 1,000 years if you cannot enjoy it like your first 10 dozen springs? The elf's voice sounds unusually vehement. Everyone considers elves ever young, but our youthfulness is but a mask, a threadbare ritual gown. What lies beneath the dust of years, the jaded reputation? With each year the dust grows thicker, the erstwhile joys cease to excite and cloy, as a dish you've tasted 1,000 times. Long did I search for a way to avert this fate. Don't I, who has truly tasted life, deserve a better lot than those benumbed old elves who close themselves to the world? I found a way in the ancient texts of Ergathoa, a ritual involving the blood of my kin, a trifle that would make each day feel as a holiday created specially for me. The ritual gave strength not only to my body, but to my mind and my soul, and my mind whirled at every sensation, every sip of wine, every silken caress. Oh, how I miss this. My cousin was the first I used for the ritual. It was a simple matter to pass her death as an unfortunate accident. But the enchantment would not last. I had to find another, and again conceal my trail. With the third death, my family grew suspicious, and upon the fourth my deeds were finally revealed. Such a pity. If not for this, my unlife even now would overflow with burning pleasure. I have dozens of useless relatives. An objective worth pursuing, but it would be better to refrain from secret murder. There are many ways to arrange a death while keeping within the boundaries of law and decency. It is much more difficult to accomplish this in Keonan than in the River Kingdoms. Jathal cringes. But you are correct. I have learnt a lesson from my past, and will be more careful in the future. Is exile your only punishment for murder? For an elf, Jathal says pointedly, exile is a serious punishment. There are no other Keonan in this world. Even I, who despise its hypocrisy, must admit as much. Do you have family in Keonan? Anyone who is dear to you? Do you mean someone I would hesitate to sacrifice? Perhaps my daughter. I would regret the wasted effort. The creature turned out quite well, like a properly trained dog or a well-managed horse. How did you die? And what happened after? Jathal frowns. I don't remember my death. I was stunned by the sentence of exile, and I admit I showed weakness. I wandered aimlessly, absorbed in despair, without concern for my safety or sustenance, and then I remembered desolate rocks, a stone I lay upon, a convulsion passing not only through my whole body, but through my soul. Then I awakened, cold, calm, my body overwhelmed with strength but haunted. by a strange internal silence. There were bloody prints of bone feet on the stone next to me, a sign of the goddess. A battle scythe lay nearby. That was the first and last time I heard of Urgathoa. Urgathoa's? I'm going to have to look that up. Urgathoa's voice. She spoke but 3 words. Hail the Inquisitor. That is all. She has neither addressed me nor answered my pleas ever since. I will not bother you with the story of how I tried to comprehend my new condition. Soon I had a chance to put my new powers to the test. A group of my kin had tracked me through the woods. They were insolent and would pay dearly for this. But I had to reckon how I might free myself from their persistent chase. A powerful protector from among the short-lived could help me, and the Sword Lord seemed suitable. That is all. Alright, well, tell me about your birthplace. I hope you do not ask from idle curiosity. Kyonin is the birthplace of the elves. The other races are allowed to visit within reasonable limits, usually only as far as Green Gold. That is the enclave for half-breeds and the short-lived whim of our queen. I enjoyed going there sometimes, as to a wild beast show. Beyond this caricature of a city, Kyonin is a mixture of grandeur and the sand remains of ancient glory. Next to today's graceful dwellings lie the ruins of ancient monuments and fountains. Elves prefer to live in small groups in secluded settlements. The most outgoing and ambitious live in the capital, Idara. Daily life is filled with the efforts of 100-year-old infants seeking worthy goals, and 1,000-year-old stony cynics entertaining themselves howsoever they can. That is all. It's scarcely worth mentioning that even this gloom is far more tempting than anything one finds in the lands of the short-lived. Well, that's enough talking about your past. What's it like to be undead? Do you wish to know what it means to me personally, or what powers and limitations it imposes? Do you regret not being alive anymore? Shadow passes over Jathal's face. You surely know how to ask questions. She says nothing for a long time. 2 desires led me through life. To feel pleasure time and time again, and to achieve perfection. Unlife brought me closer to the second. I am chainless, torn from time. The chaos of the world and even the soul circle have no power over me. But everything comes with a price. Most things that brought me pleasure in life are meaningless to me now. How can I decide which is better? Probably. You've become powerful. That's all that matters. It's much better than a life of ordinary mortals, and even elves. I would prefer to have both. But meanwhile, I shall have to content myself with power. Well, how do healing spells, prayers, and potions affect you? Dreadfully, of course. Your healers had better stay away from me in battle. The undead are healed through interaction with negative energy, and I can perfectly manage that on my own. You don't need to sleep, right? I'm spared from that bothersome need. But I hope you do not take this as a reason to invent additional responsibilities to entertain me during the night. I spend this time meditating and addressing the goddess. What about carnal pleasures? A tactless and factual question. That pleasure is now as senseless to me as food or wine. Action without feeling. Ugh. Jaethal cringes. Yes, well, thank you. I have no more questions about this. But tell me about your goddess. It might sound strange, but I know less than others about Ogathoa and her faith. My transformation into her Inquisitor was unexpected, but I will answer to the best of my knowledge. Well, what does it mean to be an Inquisitor for Ogathoa? This question is more complicated than it seems. An Inquisitor by nature is the most zealous defender of their faith, the hand of their goddess in mundane affairs. When I received this title and power, I expected that Ogathoa would tell me my mission. But this never happened. The goddess remains silent. There's only one reasonable explanation I can imagine. Discovering what's expected of me in my part is part of my mission. So I will reflect on this, make my prayers, and wait for a sign. What does Ogathoa require of her followers? Well, to enjoy, to taste exquisite dishes, to feel the lover's caress, to drink the enemy's suffering. A wonderful religious obligation, isn't it? What do you know of Ogathoa herself? Oh, certainly. Ogathoa was once a mortal woman, basking in life and all the pleasures it had to offer. Her passion was so strong that Ogathoa rebelled against Pharasma, against death itself and its laws. After her own death, she escaped the power of the Lady of Graves and returned to the world as a goddess, and the first undead. Since then, she has protected all who submit their souls to pleasure and passion, paying no heed to worn-out morals and the dictates of law. Does Ogathoa feud with other gods? Oh, not Ogathoa. But Pharasma still tries to call her to order, and Serene to heal her. Jaethal laughs at the absurdity. Well, enough about this for now. As you wish. Conversation is truly a waste of time. What made you follow me? Curiosity. The need for a reliable ally. You see, I must come to understand what my goddess seeks from me. Ogathoa gave me the powers of Inquisitor without declaring her will to me. I await her reply, any hint or trace or clue. And I suppose our meeting was no mere accident. Besides, Jaethal cringes, I imagine that several Kionan assassins still pursue me. They never risked attacking me while I was under the patronage of the Aldori. They are unlikely to attack while I have reliable allies, like you. But why do these assassins follow you? I don't know. They can't have been sent by the Queen. I am branded outlaw, but my punishment was exile. It is not custom for elves to contravene their own verdicts. My attackers shouted something about threat and blood. I suppose they are a splinter group of feeble-minded zealots. Or someone on a quest for personal revenge. Alright, well, thank you for the conversation. Farewell. Greetings. Everything is well, I hope. I'm ready for new orders. Tell me about yourself. What exactly would you like to know? I was born to a noble family, though I didn't remain long on the family estate. My father, sent me to the Order of the Eternal Rose, but I left once I realized it didn't match my principles. Why were you sent to the Paladin Order of the Eternal Rose? Well, as you can imagine, from my first days, I was surrounded by crowds of servants and nannies who never stopped praising my heavenly beauty. The paladins of Shellin, who used to visit our house, echoed those praises. Well, in the end, general consensus overwhelmed my father's better judgment. When I turned 6, I was brought to the Church of Shellin and told that this would be my new home. Don't pity me, though, I beg you. Any who hear this story immediately assume my parents were cruel and had no love for their child. Valerie's eyes become stern. My parents had respect for me. They taught me something that has supported me all my life. A sense of self-esteem. Besides, they didn't abandon me. Once every 6 months, they would come and visit me at the Order of the Eternal Rose. We had some tea, and then had an hour to walk around the garden, and they would take their leave, as etiquette demanded. Fair enough. Alright, well, what do they teach you at the Order? A variety of things. Some of them appealed to me, others I simply couldn't accept. I enjoyed the physical activities and swordsmanship, but the arts, calligraphy, painting, poetry, so many other ways to waste one's time. Valerie sighs. I guess that deep in my heart I always knew I would never be a true paladin of Shellin. Wielding a sword always felt more natural to me than holding a paintbrush. So what did you do after you left the Order? Set off for Restov, Valerie shrugs. I wanted to get as far away as possible from Shellin and the destiny everyone seemed so ready to force upon me. Besides, the school of swordsmanship in Restov has quite a decent reputation. Honestly, I was hoping for an opportunity to learn from the famous Aldori masters. Eventually, it became clear that their technique wasn't a good fit for me. They teach to avoid impact, whereas I prefer to raise my shield. But my abilities and skills, which I had learnt in the Order of the Eternal Rose, were enough to make the Sword Lords take an interest in me. They offered me a chance to join the mercenaries who served the Sword Lords, and I accepted. I bet your beauty inspired many people in the Order. Valerie's gaze suddenly becomes cold. And here I hoped to avoid the question. Well, let's get it over with, once and for all. You should understand that I am perfectly aware that most races, orders, and genders find me physically attractive. It is beyond my power to change that, and I've never given a potential admirer any reason to start a conversation with me. It doesn't stop them. After leaving the Order, I took a dagger and cut off my long hair they used to praise. Now I get letters praising the beauty of my eyes. It was because of my appearance that I ended up in the Order of the Eternal Rose, though I never wanted to be a paladin. It was because of my beauty that an infinite number of suitors have pursued me, all of them confusing simple politeness with hints of affection. Valerie clenches her fist. But do you know what I really want? I want people to stop treating me like a piece of art. I want them to notice that I am a person, that I am capable of something more than smiling for paintings, where I sit wearing a lacy satin dress holding a basket of peaches on my lap. Is that too much to ask? The last question came out in a shout, though Valerie doesn't seem to realize it. Whoa. Why all the shouting? It's just a simple question. What's become of all your precious self-control? Valerie breathes heavily for a moment, gasping awkwardly. As the meaning of your words finally becomes clear to her, she regains control of herself. I humbly beg your pardon, she says calmly. That will never happen again. Let's change the subject. You have my attention. What? So you're an atheist? She hasn't said she doesn't... She said she doesn't worship... Has she said she doesn't worship any deities? So, you're an atheist. You don't worship any deity? Right. I need no guidance from above. I have my own good conscience and my leader's orders to live by. I don't know. You're so eager to follow my orders. Why? What do you mean, why? Valerie looks at you in bewilderment. I follow your orders. I've joined your campaign because I have faith in you. I believe your intentions to be noble, though things may not always turn out as you've planned. You are my commander. Your orders are law. It is my duty to follow them. Valerie hesitates for a moment. Well, so long as you don't order me to do something that's absolutely dishonorable. But that would never happen. I hope. Nope. Sure, we talked about that. And hell yeah, she has to follow etiquette and maintain good manners for speaking to me. Well, thank you for the conversation. I'll talk to you later. As you wish. Valerie nods with dignity. I think that is where we'll end the episode. Got to know all my companions. I'm going to be honest with you. If I could pick them, I do like all three of these companions. I think having a good front line, but I don't know if you can tell, but I'm trying to do 3 female voices is not it's not the easiest, and it's not something I normally have to work on until I start doing this Let's Voice thing. But having only 3, I'm trying very hard to make them sound different and not just like some dude doing these voices. I don't know if I'm doing it, but that is why this is all about practice. We're trying to get better. But I've been SammyP. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Hope you enjoyed getting to know all of my companions. I guess it'll be next episode that we set off and hunt the Stag Lord. Until then, if you enjoyed, liking, sharing, subscribing, as I said, fantastic way to help the channel. If you didn't enjoy it, constructive criticism is fantastic, as are all comments. Particularly any advice about Pathfinder in general. But until then, until episode 5, it's been 4 episodes, I'm already losing track. Until episode 5, I'm SammyP, and I hope you come back and join me for the next one.